Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to my channel. I just want to start by telling you how lovely you are, how precious you are, and how loved you are. You are so loved, so special. I'm just overcome with emotion right now because I'm just thinking about the love of God. I've received such wonderful comments, such encouraging comments, and it really is hard because I put myself out there, especially with my domestic violence video, and I've even been hesitating about whether or not I should take it down because I'm nervous about some things, but I'll leave it up as long as the Lord tells me to leave it up because I want it to minister to someone. But I've gotten such wonderful comments, and I just want to tell you that you are loved, and it's really made me start thinking about that because from time to time I'll wonder because of things that happened, does God really love me? But I know that He does. I know that He's crazy about me, and not just me. He's no respecter of persons. He's crazy about you. He loves you with an everlasting love, whether you know that or not. And if you don't know Him, I feel bad that you don't know Him. You're missing out on one of the greatest friends you could ever have, one of the greatest relationships you could ever have. A lot of times we harbor bitterness and things in our heart, and anger and resentment and things that we don't understand. And then we project that on God because if He was in control, then couldn't He stop this? Why did He let this happen? Why did they do that to me? I've been in a situation, people have been in things 10 times more horrific than what I went through, which my situation, like Paul said, I count it as dung, and I look forward to the things that are coming. But people go through things that are a lot worse, and they're still in the midst of some terrible, terrible storms. And it's hard for them to see God in it, but I just want to say that for me personally, I know that God loves me because He brought me out of it. And right now I'm going through some terrible, terrible storms, some really hard hardships that seem too big for me, and yesterday I honestly felt like throwing in the towel. I'm like, why am I trying anymore? I wasn't going to give up serving God, but I'm like, why am I trying to have a better life? Why am I trying to do all these things? And maybe I called myself to do these things, and I'm going to stop making videos. Why am I doing all this? I was so discouraged. But God just knows how to get in there. And He knows how to just soften your heart and to give you the peace that you need to get you through that moment. Because sometimes you have to take it moment by moment. And He gives you the peace that you need. When you think that nobody understands, nobody cares, nobody sees, nobody knows, I'm just so insignificant, I'm just so invisible. Then you start to get the thoughts, well, maybe I should take my life, maybe I should do this and that. No, don't you dare. God has a plan, and the best is yet to come. I had a dream that I was walking. My sister and I were walking with a group of people. We've been walking for days, like city after city. We didn't have the luxury of a car. We were never even given that option, never given that choice. We were walking for days and days and days, and our feet were tired, and we were tired. We were weary, and it was that night, and I remember we crossed into this new city. We crossed over the threshold. It's like an invisible. You couldn't see it, yet we knew it was there, and we stepped over it, and as soon as we stepped over it, our eyes were opened. And I looked up at the sky, and if you see my Pacific Northwest dream, I told you how you could see almost every star in the sky. And I could see stars for miles and miles and miles. But not only did I see stars in this dream, I saw these huge clusters. They looked like bubbles, like translucent bubbles, but you could see through them. And there were gifts. They were filled with gifts, and they were coming this way. They'd been coming this way, but it took time. We had to move towards it as it moved towards us, as they moved towards us, because there was more than one. They were lined up one right after the other, as far back as the eye could see. And I said, do you see that? And my sister said, I see it. And we were jumping up, and we were tired, but we got the strength to jump. And I went, oh, what if we had given up? I said, so many people give up before they get to this point. They're right at the point of their breakthrough. They're right at the point of their blessing, and they give up right at the time where they're right there, and they turn around and go the other way. I said, what if we gave up? Those things were for us. One right after the other. They're about to overtake us, about to rain down on us and overflow on us, and we would have missed it. A blessing doesn't always have to be money. It can be peace. Maybe you've been without peace for so long and you wonder, there's so much chaos around me. When am I going to have peace? Maybe you've been in a financial storm. Everybody seems to be in a financial storm right now because of the economy. And you wonder, when is it going to turn around? I'm working my fingers to the bone. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And when is it going to turn around for me? In my case, I'm not able to work right now because I help out with my mom. And I've got my little ones and I'm going to school full time. So I don't know how I'd be able to work right now. I'm trying to actually get back to work. God's going to help me with that. But there's so many people that are wondering, how long, God? How long, Lord? When? When is my change coming? But don't you dare give up. If you got to cry for a minute, get your pity party over and cry. Do what you got to do. Kick, stomp, but get up and keep on going. One of my prayer partners, she's a dear mother in the Lord to me, and she always tells me, girl, get back up and pull your bootstraps up and tie your shoelaces and be a good soldier, because a good soldier never quits. They never give up. They get up and fight. And I'm telling you today to do the same. We got to keep one another lifted up, because we do have a great high priest who understands our pain. He understands our weaknesses. He understands our infirmities. He understands what we go through. If you've been sick a long time and you're wondering, when is your healing coming? Maybe you've been getting words, oh, you're going to be healed, you're going to be healed, your healing's coming. And when, you say? God knows when. He knows the perfect time. He cares about everything about you. Look at the stars in the sky tonight. If the sky is clear where you are, look at the stars. If not tonight, tomorrow night. If it's 10 weeks from now, go outside and look at the stars. And try to count them. And when you look at each speck, remember that some of those specks represent galaxies. There was a video once called The Milky Way and Beyond that I watched it once, and they said that if you took a grain of sand and held it at arm's length out to the sky, and you pointed like at one little pinpoint in the sky, that could represent like millions of galaxies or thousands or something of galaxies. Can you count the stars? What about the sand I just talked about? Can you count the granules of sand on the beach and the oceans and in the deserts all over the world? Yet God knows the number. He says the stars, none of them are missing, and he calls them all by name. Do you think that he doesn't see us, that he doesn't know our names? Can you count the hairs on your head? He already knows the numbers of hairs on everyone's heads. We don't know these things. He said, but I know the way that you take. And when that was actually Job. He said that he knows the way that I take, and when he has tried me, I shall come forth as pure gold. And he is saying that I know the way that you take. And when I've tried you, you will come forth. You shall come forth as pure gold. Don't give up. He said, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. Don't hate him, love him. He loves you. He's not doing anything or allowing anything to hurt you, but to make you stronger, to strengthen you, to build character in you, to build in you the trust in him, to become like a child again. Kids trust and believe everything we tell them unless we let them down over and over again. And you might say, well, God has done that to me. No, he didn't. He didn't. There's times when he's silent, and he has to stay silent because we have to go through certain things. Oh, I don't know why, but he knows. But it does something to us. And when we come out of it, we'll never be the same. At least we shouldn't be the same. But God knows. Don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Just know that the situation will not always be this way. And that God loves you, and he's still in control. Take care of yourselves, and be blessed.